Hi there, this is Joe from SquareXO, and this is SquareXO episode 92. Today I'm joined by Nick.
Hello.
And Becca as well.
Hi.
I'm sorry if my voice starts to go because I've got a bit of a sore throat and a cold, so it might get a bit dodgy at some point. But we'll soldier on. Okay, so we'll probably just skip the news today for that very reason, just so that it makes it a bit easier. If you want to catch up in the news, of course, it's all on our SquareXO on the news for the entire week. So, yeah, so check that out. Before we start, don't forget, follow us at squarexo.co.uk, twitter.com/square_XO, facebook.com/squarexo, patreon.com/squarexo, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other podcast services too. You can also watch/listen on Johnson Water. YouTube.com/Johnson Water. I forgot the most important part. YouTube.com. We'll come back next week. We'll be back to normal as far as the news concerned. But like I say, with my voice being a bit dodgy, we'll just skip it this week. But I will just touch on the charts briefly since we're recording on a Monday, some as well, if I can actually find them. That is, Red Dead Redemption 2 was number 1 this week. FIFA was number 2, and Kingdom Hearts had dropped to 3. I'm just doing this for memory, by the way, because I can't find them. I think Resident Evil 2 was number 4, and Black Ops 3 was number 5, or Black Ops 4 was number 5, sorry. Yeah, and then there was a bunch of Switch titles making up top 10, and of course Grand Theft Auto would be there at number 10 as well. So there we go. I remembered it all, sort of. There was no real sales data or anything this week, so there's not really much I can dig into in terms of that. But it's just, the fact is, games like Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 come out, and then after a week this interest completely drops off for those sort of titles because it's the people who are really interested in them who buy it up, and then there's probably not a lot of interest outside of the people who buy it, I would think. Because they're the type of franchises, I think, that people have a sort of affiliation to, if you know what I mean. So outside of that, I don't generally think the sales probably drop off after that.
I'd agree, Kingdom Hearts, definitely. I think Resi has just gained momentum. I think the more people are kind of like looking at the reviews and the gameplay and kind of going, oh, actually, that looks really good, and kind of grabbing, I mean, not maybe enough to keep it up in the charts, but I think Resi's going to keep going. Which it should, deserves it.
But this is a big week in the charts, what with Metro coming out and Far Cry and also Crackdown as well. And that other title from Namco that I can't remember the name of, Jumping Force or something. Yeah.
This is all the week before Anthem comes out too, so it's just going to be a busy February moving on.
And then March gets quite quiet for a little while. I think Dirt Rally 2 is out in February as well. Don't know how well that will do, I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess, won't we? So yeah, one more bit of news I just noticed that I was reading just before we recorded was that Sean Layden was talking to someone just ahead of, what's it called again? What's that? CES, in it? The Consumer Electronics Show. He was talking to somebody just for that, just saying about Sony streaming and stuff and how they're going to be still concentrating obviously on bringing everybody releases rather than just streaming, and how they're going to aim to have bigger, better exclusives but less of them. And he was also mentioning that they would be looking to buy more studios as well if they're a good fit. So I thought that was some interesting things to come out of that interview he had. Wasn't much came out of it, but that came out of it. And the other thing he mentioned was that he thinks Sony's just fed up E3 now because basically, it used to be a trade show where journalists and retailers would come along in June, see what Sony's got, and then obviously at the time the journalists had lead times because it was all magazines, so they would have to see the games before they came out at Christmas so they could write about them at Christmas time. But he's saying it's kind of not like that anymore. There's gaming news 24/7, so journalists can get hands on with stuff pretty easily through codes and stuff, and retailers, it's too late now, June, to prepare for Christmas, so that's why Sony has its I can't remember what the event's called. PlayStation. Oh, I can't remember what the event's called, but they have an event every February where it's just for retailers. It's a PlayStation event that retailers go to. So obviously with that and with journalists just having easy access to everything, there's no really a need for E3 anymore as far as Sony's concerned. So what they're doing instead is they're saying, well, maybe E3 should be more like Comic-Con, where you don't kind of go along for the announcements, you go along to watch panels and just for the experience of meeting your favourite devs and stuff. He says that's probably the way E3 needs to go. I don't know what you think of that.
That would make sense for people in America, sure, but for the rest of us that can't actually just get up and go to E3 and just see people there, the announcements are a big thing, and I'll be sad to see that go. Well, certainly from the Sony side, I'll sit and I'm going to watch the Xbox one. I will probably watch bits of the Nintendo one, but it will be a noticeable hole in E3 that Sony's not there this year.
Yeah, although of course it doesn't mean there won't be announcements from Sony. They'll just probably come in a different form, either through social media videos or maybe from the PlayStation Experience. Maybe they'll hold up. I'd be curious to see what Sony do for Europe, because obviously they have this PlayStation Experience in America, but they've not really going to have it for their European fans unless everybody's just got to sit and watch it. So it'll be interesting to see if they do a simultaneous one in Europe at the same time.
Well, they said before when they announced that they weren't going to E3 that they weren't doing anything in that part of the year. So unless that's changed,
PlayStation Experience would be at the end of the year anyway, December, like it always is.
Yeah.
So I just wondered if they would do something simultaneous, but that could, I think if they did, that might take away from the one in America, because obviously all the big personalities like Yoshida and Cory Barlog and all that, they can't be in two places at once. Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't see them doing one simultaneous. Maybe it'd cost too much to do one two different ones at a different sort of part of the month. So I don't know how they would do it unless they just keep doing what they're doing, have it in America and then just stream it to people in Europe. I mean, because people in Europe can go to the one in America, but obviously it's quite an expensive thing to do. I mean, I'd love to go, but it costs a fortune, wouldn't it? I'm not on 400,000 a week like some footballers in the world. Jeez.
That's too right. It's hard enough getting across to, say, Berlin for some of the conferences, let alone literal other side of the planet.
I know, which is good why we can watch it, but it doesn't really beat being there, which is obviously a lot better. But it's just one of these things. Anyway.
I do like coming back to the thing that Sean Layden said about wanting to focus on fewer, bigger games rather than more smaller ones. That's an interesting point. I'd rather have a Spider-Man every 3 to 5 years than an Assassin's Creed every year. And I know Assassin's Creed is not exclusive, but I don't know, say Infamous. If we got an Infamous game every year versus a Spider-Man every 3 to 5, I'll take Spider-Man any day of the week.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, although I do like Infamous. We talked about Infamous.
I love the first Infamous, and then they just all kind of petered off. It was a rapid downhill dive for me, but I'd rather take their time with something that's just absolutely mind-blowing like Spider-Man was.
Oh yeah, I do look forward to the big exclusives, so wouldn't bother me as such, really. Not when there's so many other games out there, so they can just take the time. It's fine with me, really. Okay, so let's move on then. Today's topic is going to be about magazines and, well, physical media in general, but I was thinking magazines when I thought of the topic and just how things have changed since I was growing up anyway, and how magazines used to be it, really. And then obviously that bit of E3 where he's talking about the magazine lead times and stuff. That's kind of what I was thinking of, and maybe magazines we remember for growing up, or what they meant to us if we collected them, blah blah blah. And maybe we'll touch on the physical media side of things as well, I don't know. But let's just start talking about magazines on. So What do you remember? I mean, what was it like when you're growing up? Gaming. What was it like with the magazines? What was the magazines you remember, and did you collect them or?
Yeah, I'll basically collect anything I can get my hands on. I make magazines for a living these days. Not inside video games, but we won't go into the boring details of my 9 to 5. Collecting magazines as a kid, though, I would have the official PlayStation magazine, OPSM, lined up on my bookshelf like just the most pristine library. Even if there was one of those, you remember way back in the day, there used to be like competitions inside the magazine. We'd have to cut out a corner of the page, fill in your details, and post it off. And then you'd be entered into this little drawer and you might win a thing. I couldn't bring myself to cut out a corner of someone's article, even if it meant I might win a book or a CD or whatever it was. I adore physical copies of, well, basically anything written down. So that was me. It was mostly OPSM and any similar PlayStation magazine that came with a walkthrough. Even if I didn't have the game, if there was like a little hints and tips and tricks book, I would get it and I would devour the book going, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, but now I know that if you unplug the controller. So I was that kid. It was good times.
What I remember the ones I sort of like was, obviously I like official PlayStation, I always like that one, but one I like kind of better was called PSM, I think.
Yeah, I was a reader of that one.
And I like that one because it was a bit cheekier than official PlayStation. It had a bit of humour in it and stuff, which I liked. What I liked about official PlayStation one was you got the demo disc, and that was quite cool. Going further back, I think I've always kind of went for the. I don't remember the Xbox one I got. I got the official Xbox magazine a lot as well. I don't really remember any other ones I got for that. I'm trying to think further back, but the main sort of memories of buying magazines for me was PSM and official PlayStation and official Xbox. I never really strayed from that. I don't think I didn't like Edge because it's a bit too poncy for me. I was thought, I tried reading it once and I thought, what is this nonsense? So I didn't really like that. It was above my head at the time. It's just the type of writing I didn't like. Now there's some writing you get on with, isn't there? And I guess because I'm more of the down to earth cheeky chap, I like this stuff that related to me, whereas the Edge was kind of, to me, the ones that people for university would read.
It's definitely got that feel to it. I'm happy reading Edge, but the problem was as a kid, I could only afford one magazine or maybe two if I was really lucky per press cycle. So it'd be the ones that had the books or the tech demos or the playable demos of actual games. But you don't really get tech demos anymore, do you?
No.
I remember this one on the PlayStation 1 where you basically just got to walk around as a T-Rex and rotate the T-Rex in space against a black background. And it was just, that's literally all you done is you walked forward and you could animate little bits of the dinosaur. And I was enthralled. I've probably done that for more hours than I should admit on a podcast. But
yeah, I just love the free stuff. The free stuff was great. That's kind of what appeals to you when you're younger, innit?
Yeah, I don't remember Edge giving out that kind of stuff, so that's why I never really bought it. What about you, Bucker? Were you?
I can't remember. I think it might have been PlayStation Official, but I remember when I was younger, like having a standing order at WH Smith's. And I would go in and they have like a drawer that you would open and you'd find your name and then your magazine. I remember doing that either every week or month or how often, I can't even remember how often it came out now, like religiously every week for years. And I just used to like collect and I'd read them kind of cover to cover and like ingest all, even if I didn't play the games, I would just devour all of it. And I don't even remember when I stopped buying them. Occasionally now I'll pick up PlayStation or Xbox Official and kind of go, oh, it's really nice to read, but
Hello?
still expensive. But I think I bought one the other day and it's like £6. And I was like, Magazine, £6, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, they
I
are.
think we lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, we lost you for a sec, but the prices of them have certainly went up. I mean, I was just looking back at some of the other ones I might have got. There was one called Games TM, but I don't think I got that one. And there was Play Magazine. I think I maybe got that a few times.
Yeah, I got Play.
Retro Gamer and PC Gamer. Anyone go for the PC ones ever?
I used to. Yeah.
I think
my dad at one point was learning how to code, and part of that was learning how to code video games. Because he was learning on a PC, that was the magazine that he bought into for a short while.
What about Nintendo magazines? Anyone buy any of them?
So I didn't really have Nintendo consoles as a kid, but I would read like Nintendo Power when my mates got it. When I was like at their house and we were doing the whole pass the console kind of thing, I'd be flicking through the magazines while they were taking their turns.
There was also things like Game Master and computer video games.
Never came across those.
I feel like Games Master, it's been such a long time since I've kind of bought like magazines kind of regularly that I don't even know.
Do you not remember CVG computer? Do you remember the website CVG?
No.
No. CVG.com. Oh, that's quite a big website, not even that long ago. It's amazing that people forgot it existed now. It's quite a big website, and then it kind of started to lose its way, and they turned it into Games Radar instead.
Yes, yeah.
Games Radar I've heard of,
but it was called CVG before they turned it into Games Radar. I don't even know how long ago that was now, but it was quite a popular website at the time, but I don't know what happened to it. I think it just all went wrong or something. But yeah, there's so many, but I used to enjoy reading the letters as well. The readers' letters. That was brilliant. That's one of my favourite bits. Does MD enjoy doing that? The readers' letters.
Yeah, even my day job at the moment, the letters are always fantastic, because if there's anyone that's even mildly annoyed by something, they will be writing you a letter. It's always a good laugh. That maybe we should start doing maybe not letters but tweets from people. Actually, thinking about it, maybe not.
That's maybe a bad idea.
We did just have users' questions, which is kind of the same thing. I was trying to think of a way how you could have readers' letters in a podcast, though, because I think that would be quite cool. Because it's not really the same as a question, is it? Because sometimes it's just them giving an opinion and stuff, and or maybe asking your thoughts on it, which is kind of like a user question. But sometimes it's just them telling you something, a story or whatever, and I quite like that. So, I mean, if anybody wants to tweet us anything like that, I'm quite happy to read it out.
I mean, we could always, depending, we could tweet out the topic like a few days in advance and be like, anybody care to give us any feedback that's not mean?
Yeah,
preferably.
So, I mean, I kind of guess what I was getting at is this. There was so many magazines. I mean, we've just read out some, and there's probably tons that we've got about, and barely any exist anymore. You don't have PSM anymore. You've got the official ones still, and you've got Edge. Yeah. But I mean, it'd be hard. I think even Play Magazine stopped. I think a lot of them have. Well, I don't know that Play stopped. That's just for some reason I thought that, but I don't know if that's true. But there's not
Games
many.
TM famously shut down in 2018, didn't they?
So the fact is, they are a dying thing, aren't they? They're a dying breed, and although you still get people who think, "Oh, great games magazines," I get the feeling that sort of kids, like 18, younger and stuff, don't buy them at all. I just get that feeling. I mean, like I can go by my kids and all their friends. I don't know any of them that buys a games magazine. And I was thinking about Jordan in particular because he's 19, and in these 19 years, he's never once asked to buy a games magazine because everything's there in front of you now, isn't it? I mean, like, for instance, we reviewed Resident Evil 2. We got that code, we played the game, completed it, and managed to review it at the same time a magazine did. I can do my news video and like it's live in 20-30 minutes, whereas a magazine wouldn't have the same news to the month after. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
magazines don't serve the same purpose as they did when we were kids, though. When we were kids, before the internet was a big thing, and I'm showing my age here, I remember when Ask Jeeves was the biggest internet browser in the world. What's this Google thing? Never heard of it.
I miss Ask Jeeves.
Alta Vista.
Great.
But yeah, back then, picking up a magazine was your source of news. Right now, a magazine is a vanity item. I've been staring at a screen all day. I just want to pick up something that I can feel in my hands and read something that someone wrote a couple of weeks ago that might be interesting now.
Yeah.
It serves a completely different purpose for a completely different audience.
Yeah, but I guess I'm thinking as that audience gets older, magazines become a lot less relevant, and probably the reason that they're all dying out is because nobody's really that interested in them anymore. It's just a sad fact that things move on. Some of them have done well to adjust. So at OPM, whatever, you can get them on Kindle and stuff. Now that's maybe a bit different. If the ones that have adjusted and have went digital, that's kind of a good thing for them, because people are still going to want to read the digital ones, I think. But
yeah,
you get all the same information that they put on their magazine and on their websites, a lot of them, which kind of, because they're trying to stay relevant, they're trying to get the clicks. So the review you might read in the magazine's already been online on their website. So it's kind of, unless you completely avoid their website, you're going to see the same review. So it's quite difficult. I can understand why people still like them. I mean, I've not bought a magazine personally for about 10 years probably, because I've not had the need, because I know when I used to buy magazines, I knew nothing really about gaming, only what they told me, whereas now I probably know more than what the magazine tells me. So there's no point. I would just be kind of reading stuff I wrote about months ago. So I mean, it's not relevant for me, but maybe people who gaming's not their life sort of thing, people who just do it for fun and now and again think, oh, I wonder what's good, they might just go and pick up a magazine. But chances are they're going to YouTube now and finding out what's good, typing in or what games are good and YouTube. That's probably the way of things now. That's just what I mean. I mean, do you think magazines have got much of a future left? Because it certainly doesn't feel like it, does it?
I do, but as someone that makes magazines for a living, I kind of have to say that. If you ignore the potential bias there, I reckon that there's people like OPSM and Edge that have carved their way into the corner of the market and just commandeered it. They've set up their bunker and said, this is us, this is where we're going to stay. They will always have a place as long as they want to keep making the magazine, because the advertisers know that they've built their fan base and their fan base is there to stay. And as their fans get old,
yeah, I know what you mean. The fans they've got now, but as their fans get older, then what?
Their kids will take over, or other people that have been spending their entire day just staring at a screen that wants something more physical.
I don't think their kids will take over. You see, that's when I disagree, because I don't think their kids will take over. I think their kids will just watch YouTube or read Facebook or watch websites or whatever.
They won't exist in the same form as they do now. They will have to evolve to keep up with the times. Like Nintendo Power, that became a podcast in the end, didn't it? There's no reason why OPSM or the like can't do a podcast and have a magazine. It certainly won't be identical to what it is now, but they will find a way to survive. That's my thinking.
Yeah, that would be nice, because obviously I like the fact that they exist, but it was just, I guess my thought was just that I don't see how they're going to.
Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? If people could figure that out, they wouldn't be shutting down their magazines.
Because that's the problem, they're all shutting down. When's the last time you bought a magazine, Becca?
I'd probably say last year. I'm a sucker. I am that person that if I like the cover of something, I will probably buy it. If I kind of, not that I go, well, actually no, WH Smith's, I'll occasionally go in to look at the books, but if I pop in, if I see a cover, say PlayStation Magazine, if there's like a Last of Us cover or Spider-Man, God of War, I probably will buy it on that alone. just because I'm like, oh, I like that game. I would like to read more, even though I probably know the majority of what's already in there. I quite like having physical like books and magazines and that kind of thing. So, but I think it goes back to my original point earlier. It's just they're quite expensive now. I know the thing is they're more expensive to probably produce now as well. So there's that kind of double-edged sword. But I think the big thing for me is that I don't really want to pay that much money for a magazine all the time. Occasionally here and there is a treat, but I just every week it kind of adds up for me.
It does indeed.
It's kind of like what I was thinking about physical media as well. It's the same sort of boat in it. You're just gonna games. You can see digital growing all the time. EA was something stupid that 47% of its media was sold digitally or something last year. So it's nearly half. It's just I can understand with EA games. I mean, there's probably other publishers who's lower than that, but and with GameStop in America, who's got the game of America, basically, they're trying to sell their company because they're in so much debt. Nobody wants to buy it, and it makes you think, geez, what happens if somebody like GameStop and GameGo? I mean, if something like that happens, then you kind of, although you've still got the supermarkets and stuff, you kind of get to the point where you need to evolve or die, really, don't you? I know games doing its sort of playrooms or whatever they're called.
Belong,
They've
the arenas.
Bankrupt once, haven't they? So
yeah, and they're moving. Games kind of moving away from games in a way. Are they not sort of evolving a bit by selling phones and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like the pre-owned market, but that's been done. I mean, the big thing at the minute for gamers Belong with their like arenas and esports, and they've done, I mean, a lot with that. They obviously have like their tournaments, their arena clashes. You've got kind of League of Legends tournaments they do, so they're kind of, I think, branching out, which is I think a massive market. I mean, some of the LCS or League of Legends tournaments they do are like some of the biggest paid sports air quotes tournaments in the world. Like the money that people win from that's ridiculous. So they're kind of which is it's a really cool kind of avenue, not to kind of be biased in any way, but the Belong arenas are a really, really cool idea, and having spent quite a lot of time around them, they're quite cool.
How many do they have?
I don't know at this point. I think they're up to like nearly 20, but they're popping up all over the place. They're doing like franchises and stuff and putting them inside of bigger stores, and they're everywhere. Take over the world.
Nice. It's good because you do. I mean, it's the same whether you're a magazine, whether it's physical media, whatever you're selling. I mean, we see a lot of stores are closing down. I go into town these days, or there seems to be less coffee shops.
Charity coffee shops, yeah, they seem to be everywhere.
Which is lucky. I've got an awesome idea for a physical store, and I know it'll work. I won't tell you what it is, though.
I'm about to say, one thing I will mention, though, and it's a little bit of a side note, but I read recently that physical book sales have increased. The last year, they've increased from the previous. So there is still, I know it's a little bit different from games, but there's still people wanting, I mean, that could just be from me, myself, I don't know, but people still do want physical media. And I mean, again, I always mention this, but I much prefer having a physical game to a digital one. There's something nice about being like, I own this and this is mine. Somebody tweeted out, I saw earlier, that Activision are refunding people for Guitar Hero. Apparently their library's been cut, and that's, I think, a really good example, because if you don't physically own that media, it could just be taken away from you. I know obviously that's all laws and logistics and that, but it's an interesting point.
Yeah, I understand that. I guess that the reason it doesn't really bother me is because I think I'm just the type of person who's a digital person. I think I've been a digital person ever since I've been 5. For the minute I got my hands on a computer, there's just this connection between me and computers. I just know what to do. And whatever it is on a computer, I just know what to do. you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like I don't know. I think it's my equivalent of being a footballer. Me and computers, it's just my skill. For some reason, I'm just good at it. I'm just good with technology. I always have been. I don't know why. I never done anything special in school to do with technology or whatever, but it's just something I've always been good at, I guess. And that's so. I mean, when it comes to stuff like digital and stuff, technology, I'm always first to kind of figure it out and think, oh, I like this. So that's why I like digital games. I like digital. I met my wife on the internet. Do you know what I mean? It's just my whole life's been kind of almost dictated by being on the computer.
See,
sorry.
And so I think that's why book sales and the like have gone up, as Bucker said, because people spend so much time in front of digital that it's just nice to have something that's old-fashioned. Like card and board games are also going up. Sales of magazines in certain sectors have been going up for the last few years.
Yeah, it just depends the type of person. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bore me. I could quite happily never buy a physical game or a physical book. I prefer to read a book on my iPad.
Oh no! Oh no! There's nothing better than the smell of a new book. Sorry, I just no.
I'm with you on that.
I don't. I mean, I love it. I can just my iPad and it remembers where I am. I don't need to keep fighting every time the book folds back over and then I lose my page.
But then you can buy loads of fancy bookmarks. Oh, I could go on this forever, but I won't. I'm a big advocate of books.
I mean, I don't say your way is wrong or whatever, but it's just me. It's just the way I prefer it. It's just the way I've always preferred stuff like that. So I mean, it probably made me read more books when I could do it on my iPad.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, I do use the Kindle app on my tablet, like going on holiday, and because it is much more convenient. So there is that kind of side of things, and any reading is good reading. So I will not put you down for using your iPad.
Yeah,
I think what we should do is crack two Twitter polls on this. Do you prefer physical games or digital games, and do you prefer physical books or digital books? I want to see if the numbers are going to match up.
I'd be quite curious. Yeah,
that would be quite interesting.
Because I'd rather have a digital game if it's on the PlayStation, but a physical copy of the book.
I'll do a poll. I'll do a poll tonight if I remember, and then I'll read out the results on tomorrow's SquareXO on the news, just out of curiosity.
And in the comments, let us know why. Like, why do you prefer? You know, what is it that draws you?
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, let's move on to that topic. That was a fun topic. I enjoyed that. Okay, we're going to do the drop now. I think we can. Have you all got access to the drop on your digital devices right now?
No.
I'm Googling it right now because I forgot to do it earlier.
I'll read the first one then, and then you can always read the one after, Nick. You save my voice.
Yep, just stall for a couple of seconds while I dig it out.
Well, I'll just read the first one because by the time
somebody send me a link.
And send
the first one is Alvastia Chronicles, right?
Yeah, you read that out then, and
sure,
then
I'll crack. Just drop you a link for that one, Bucket. There you go. And then while I'm still stalling and getting the page back up, this is fantastic radio.
Super professional, guys.
This is the way I like it.
It's been a busy afternoon of playing a game that I'm not allowed to tell you that I'm playing, but you can read the review later this week. Our first one is Alvastia Chronicles on the PS4 and Vita. I miss my Vita. It was a great piece of kit.
Oh, they are fantastic.
Alvastia Chronicles set out on an adventure in a retro-styled world. After encountering the man who killed their parents 10 years ago, Elmia and her brother Alan set out to avenge their deaths and restore peace to Alvastia.
Sounds...
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of word Alvastia there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read the next one then. Code realize Wintertide miracles. Discover a new Yuletide tale as Steel City is covered in a blanket of white. Uncover fresh intrigue as Cardia delves into the mysteries of her own family and the dashing suitors. Right, so far for these top two that we've just read out, I'm not impressed by the descriptions because they don't really tell you much, I don't think. Are you going to read the next one, Becca?
I can. I hate public reading, but it's fine. I can do this. So the next one is Canarium. Is a chilling game following 4 scientists who challenge what we normally consider the absolute limits of nature, inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's novella At the Mountains of Madness, but largely set after the original story. No idea what kind of game that is.
The picture looks fairly terrifying, though.
It does, doesn't it?
So it's a
kind of
terrifying
third
game.
eye.
Won't be playing that then.
Cool.
Go on then,
Our
Nick.
next one is Degrees of Separation. Degrees of Separation is a 2D puzzle platformer in which duo Ember and Rhyme use their contrasting powers to manipulate heat and cold to overcome obstacles. Through cooperation, they will learn about each other and the fates of their worlds. That could be interesting.
Actually sound that bad from that description.
Kind of reminds me of Brothers, if either of you played that. That was a good game.
I'll give
I
that
didn't
description
play it.
an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's better than what we've had so far.
Okay, Eden Tomorrow, developed exclusively for PSVR. Eden Tomorrow is a story-driven sci-fi action adventure. The main characters are human plagued by amnesia and a drone called Newton, who must work together to survive on this hostile alien planet. Ooh, what you reading out next, Becca?
Far Cry New Dawn, which I am very excited about. Vibrant post-apocalyptic Hope County, Montana, 17 years after a global nuclear catastrophe, which is a spoiler for the first for 5 if you've not played it. Lead the fight against the highwaymen who seek to take over the last remaining resources, or fight alongside a friend in online co-op.
I've not finished Far Cry 5, I have to admit.
It's good.
I kind of got distracted, so...
The only thing with 5 is, for me and for a lot of people I spoke to about it, you get to kind of the last kind of half of the last zone, and it's almost like, okay, I kind of want to be finished with this now. But New Dawn looks quite exciting. Can't wait for that one.
The artwork is fairly terrifying when you zoom in on the middle of it. There's a guy strapped to like an upturned car being used as target practice for the 2, I guess they're sisters?
Yeah, they're your antagonists, whose names I can't quite remember.
Okay, next game.
Hyperjam. Hyperjam is a neon-soaked arena brawler with a dynamic perk drafting system that makes each match different from the last. The fusion of lethal weapons, stackable perks, furious combat, and a killer synthwave soundtrack will keep you coming back for more.
I think we've got this one for review. It's kind of like a top-down, fast-paced, sort of mad-looking shooter. It's with all these colourful neon colours. That's the best way I can describe it. It looks okay, I guess. It doesn't look too bad from what I've seen of it. I did look up the trailers just to see what it was. Next game, Intruders Hide and Seek, is a first-person stealth game and intense thriller combining psychological terror with the point of view of a defenseless boy. 3 dangerous intruders slip into the house and your only option is to hide.
Sounds quite creepy. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like what I hoped Hello Neighbor would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've played Hello Neighbor. What's next, Becca?
Jump Force. The most famous manga heroes are thrown into a whole new battleground, our world. Uniting to fight the most dangerous threat, the Jump Force will bear the fate of the entire humankind. Ultimate Edition launches on February 12th. So
Can't
3 days
I'm
early.
Overly enthralled about that one. I'm not bored about manga though.
See, I'm a big kind of anime watcher, and I used to read a lot of manga, but games that are kind of have them in and sat around it. I'm quite curious though, because they've got, as far as I remember, they've got Light from Death Note in it, and I'm kind of like, how does he's just going to write people's names in a book and they die? Is that so? I'm kind of curious. I'm guessing. I mean, he does martial arts, but it just amused me because I was like, he'll just write everyone's name, and then that's it, game over.
I prefer
my predictions are. He'll have Ryuk doing something, or he'll hit you with tennis balls or something like that.
Now, if it's Mango, I'd be all in.
Ryuk's in it as well, so that's probably more interesting than playing as Light, if we're being honest.
Sorry, I
All
was
right, next
away
one.
thinking about mangoes there. Love mangoes.
All right, so the next one is The King's Bird. Escape into a world kept secret by a tyrant and discover the truth about your freedom. The King's Bird is an artistic, momentum-based game that seamlessly combines precision platforming with physics-based gliding.
Well, you'll find out about this one soon enough because we've got a review for it on the 12th, which is tomorrow. So we'll have a review going live for that one tomorrow.
Curious to
Speaking
read
of
it.
reviews, we've got one live for this already, I believe. The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. And after accidentally blinding a noble prince, a wolf dons a princess disguise to help set things right. Transform between the wolf and the princess to solve puzzles, evade traps, and guide the prince through a dangerous forest towards a cure. If you like the sound of that, go check out the review on the website. Hey, Becca.
Meow Motors.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Meet the kitties. The main heroes of this go-kart racing game overcome obstacles by drifting through mines and bombs, blast your competitors with astonishing weapons, and gather power-ups to be the fastest. Need this game in my life. It looks adorable.
It's basically just Mario Kart with cats, isn't it? I know there's a machine gun on the front of that one. Okay, fair enough.
And there's like a grenade, rocket, heat-seeking missile type looking thing
Meow
in the back as well.
Yep.
Oh God.
Oh, slow clap. Must say, I am impressed. Ooh. Next one?
Yeah.
The next one is Metro Exodus, a game I am super psyched for. Flee the shattered ruins of the Moscow Metro and embark on a continent-spanning journey across the post-apocalyptic Russian wilderness. Lose yourself in a sandbox survival experience and follow the thrilling storyline. We've got a preview article on this on the site that's been up for a couple of weeks from when I went to the preview event. If you haven't read it, go have a look and then think about where you want to buy the game from, because you really, really should get a copy of this.
Okie doke. Minesweeper Genius. Train your brain, help Aristotle, I think that says, the genius with a broom.
I think it's.
Sweep the minefield to regain his memory and escape from the alien's scientific experiment. Discover where all the bombs are hidden. It just looks like a mobile game, to be honest.
It does.
Okay, Vaka, you're next.
Mix-ups by Paugi.
Yeah.
Gonna pretend that's how that's pronounced. The mixed-up anagram puzzle where 3 connected words are hidden among a jumble of letters. There's only one solution that uses every letter once, and it's more challenging than you might think.
Also sounds like a mobile game.
Does. Looks like one too.
Right. 2 to go. 2 more releases this week.
The next one is Nekopara Volume 2. That's Nekopara as in like Cat Paradise. Heartfelt Neko comedy open for business. This newest edition will feature a new opening movie and theme song, all new hand-drawn art from Neko Works, and new fully voiced story scenes.
Great.
Yeah, the artwork is 2 cat people dressed in maid outfits. It's going to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Joe's reviewing that one.
Nah. Exing the Land Beyond, PSVR, PS4. Exing the Land Beyond is an atmospheric first-person puzzle game adventure set in the afterlife. In death, you'll find yourself on a journey across a series of mysterious lands filled with the thoughts and personalities of those long lost. The artwork kind of looks interesting-ish, I guess, but I don't know about the game. We'll find out, I guess, one day. If we do a review. Not sure if we're going to do one for that or not. Sometimes it's so hard. We get code, or sometimes we'll get code, sometimes we won't get code, sometimes we'll... If anybody sends us a code, we generally review the game, but obviously there's so many games come out each week, it'd be absolutely impossible to... If we got a code for every one of them each week, we would be struggling trying to do them all. I mean,
impossible.
We're doing one a day at least now. I mean, it's crazy. I think we've reviewed 15 games this month, and it's not even the 15th, is it? It's the 11th. So
no, wow.
We've reviewed more than one a day this month, and probably need enough one a day last month, and it's maybe the quiet time of year. Hate to think what's going to happen when it starts to get busy. Okay, Right, I think we're going to wrap up now because, to be honest, my voice is starting to go. So I'm sorry if it's a bit of a shorter episode than usual, but don't worry, we'll be back to normal next week. So thanks for joining us this episode, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for now. Bye.
Bye.
You going to say bye, Becca?
Bye. I think my internet's giving up.
We're all giving up today. See you next time. Bye.